Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, we'll be talking about a ton of stuff. I mean, we're seeing absolutely so much weather activity on the US in the upcoming, and Southern Canada in the upcoming couple of days that I can make a 3 hour long video and I wouldn't even cover everything that is going on. But first off, so I will be talking about the storm that is occurring right now, the large winter storm across the Midwest. It is dumping snow. It is overperforming in pretty much every single area that it possibly could be. And then we have a very large system moving inland onto California and really the West Coast on this upcoming weekend, and this one will be even bigger. What it will do across the Midwest, the plains, it's a bit unknown, but it will be dumping a lot. I mean, a ton, a potentially historic amount of snow across the West into the Sierras. There are some estimates of up to 6 to 10 feet of snow across the Sierra. So, just an absolute monster moving in. And yes, we do also have a very high risk severe weather threat going on right now across the Missouri, southeastern Missouri, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, northeastern Arkansas area, and southern Illinois. So this thing is definitely a beast, the one that is occurring right now. So again, as I mentioned, we'll be covering so much stuff, so just kind of hunker down and let's begin talking about this. But before we do, I do want to quickly add that if you guys do support this type of weather coverage, I try doing my best to keep you guys updated. Consider subscribing to the channel, consider liking the video, obviously watch the video first and see if you do enjoy it, if it's actually worthy of doing that. All right, so let's begin. So again, we do have a lot of winter storm warnings and advisories and severe weather going on right from this first system, and I want to show you the radar. This thing is very large, and as I've mentioned, it's overproducing, and you can't really tell based off the radar that it's overproducing, but you can in certain aspects if you have a well-trained eye. But I'll show you why it is overproducing in terms of its snowfall totals, at least. So again, you can see right there, this thing is massive. It's I wouldn't say massive, but it is very large. It's producing a lot of rain to the south. This is where that tornado threat is growing, and it's becoming concerning because of how kind of long track these thunderstorms are and how potent they are. Look at this as it tracks through the last few minutes that right when I'm recording this. Look at these systems. Look at these thunderstorms, right? One after the other. And you can see we have some in Oklahoma and Arkansas. Again, this is kind of just the beginning of a long night ahead of ourselves. And notice that into Iowa, right? We do have even some thunderstorms, while the northwest corner is dealing with very heavy snow. Again, much of Illinois dealing with some decent, moderate to potentially very heavy rainfall. Same with Wisconsin. And look at some of the banding with this system. That's been really prolific with this. So look, all day really across Minnesota, Minneapolis, just south of Minneapolis, there's been a sweet spot for very heavy snow. And you can see that band right now is moving into Minnesota and downtown Minneapolis, and I actually have the earth cam pulled up for St. Paul, and look at this. I mean, you can barely see anything here. The visibility is absolutely dog awful, and this is again probably 1 to 3 inch an hour snowfall rate. And I want to show you this because if I zoom in on the radar of the Minneapolis, and again, I've been telling you guys this whole week that this thing is a bit too far to the south, and most likely it will be bumped up, the heaviest snowfall. I hope you remember that, and if you don't, you could go back a few videos when the Twin Cities was placed at that 5 to 8 inch, and I said it's gonna go up, and you can see they have gone up to the 8 to 12. Again, at this point, I would say this orange is still a bit too far to the south of what this system is currently doing. And again, rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. We're definitely seeing that right now currently on the webcam of St. Paul. And look at this radar. Anytime you see yellow in terms of snowfall, this little light yellow on the National Weather Service radar, that is extremely heavy snow. Another way, and no other way to put it. And you can see St. Paul, Minneapolis, they're stuck right in this band of very heavy snow. And it's falling. It's falling and accumulating real quick. Right, so notice right now, snow, freezing fog conditions. If you click at St. Paul, snow, fog. Again, I'm surprised, honestly, they wouldn't add a little heavy snow icon here, and they probably will. Latest snowfall reports, again, I'm using the same map, and look, boom, right there. We already have 6 inches potentially, confirmed on the ground as of 6 p.m. It's 6:30. Eagan, Minnesota, just south of the city. And I want to show you this variance. Look how much these totals vary, right? So we have 3 to 4 inches to the south, right where that band is, even 7.5 inches. I mean, that is ridiculous right there for Shakopee, Minnesota. 7.5 inches, 6 inches right there, 6.5. We have 4.4, 4.5, 5, and again, just to the north, they're quite a bit lighter. You can see 1.8. That's not that much, right? But again, and we're expected to see an additional 8 inches potentially across these areas. So over a foot is pretty much likely across the city at this point because of that banding feature. And I know I'm getting excited because this was kind of really unpredicted. Yes, I mean, it was obviously a snowstorm was on its way, but the 8 to 12 inch range was honestly even extreme for some areas, and now it seems that it's a bit too little. Look what it did across South Dakota. This should have been kind of a warning sign, right? I mean, most of these locations were not forecasted to get over 10 inches and or 8 inches, and a lot of them did. Anywhere you see that brighter orange, that's over 8 inches, and some got over a foot of snow. Sioux Falls, right there, is 8. As of 5:45, it is 8.4 inches, and it's still snowing, and it will continue snowing. So a lot of these snowfall totals are very high for being very early on with this snow system. And look what it did across the mountains. I mean, we have a report of 37.5 inches right there across Battle Lake, Wyoming, with a water equivalent of 2.5 inches, which is most definitely good. Just east of Salt Lake in the mountains right there, 24 inches, a absolutely stunning amount of snow. Again, I would not be surprised to see many amounts, honestly, over the foot, maybe even foot and a half, close to 18 inches across portions of the Twin Cities. And my reasoning for that is, well, again, we already have, as you saw, almost 8-inch snowfall totals across the Twin Cities, and this is current 6 p.m. This is what, to an hour. This is where the herd model comes down very handy, and you can see that what it predicts is many more hours of snow, maybe not at the same rate that it's been occurring, but definitely you could still see the Twin Cities, a lot of snow, even up to St. Cloud, back into Sioux Falls, Sioux City, still snowing all the way till midnight. Again, I do want to say I will be focusing on a severe weather in just a minute, just a bit. So stay tuned if you want to hear that. Notice the arrowhead of Minnesota, not really seeing much, but the UP, the northern kind of part of Wisconsin, a lot. And really, the snow only disappears, if you will, from the Twin Cities or abates from them by 4 a.m. in the morning. And by that time, the HER model predicts that we could have a additional 7 to 8 inches widespread. I mean, widespread amounts of 7 to 8 inches across much of Minnesota and into portions of, again, Wisconsin and the UP. But this is extremely, impressive, right? They're predicting up to 7 more inches of snow across some of the very areas that have already 8 inches. That is over 15 to 16 inches of snow. And that's assuming, the HER model, it doesn't show any more banding, which this model doesn't account for extreme bands like the one that is right now occurring across the city. Now, again, I would say, as I said yesterday, right, that around the 7 to 8 o'clock time frame will be when the heaviest snow will be falling. Based on this system, that may continue a bit later because look how all these bands right here back into Sioux Falls, still very impressive snowfall rates, an overall very impressive system. I would say an overperformer to say the least. I mean, those are ridiculous amounts of snow in such a short amount of time. I was in a garden right earlier when I was watching Minneapolis start to get kind of overwhelmed by snow at around 1 or 2, and I mean it's been a few hours, right? But to think that there's already 7 inches of snow, that's an inch plus per hour sustained for over 6 hours at this point. That is most definitely impressive. Now to the severe weather side, equally as impressive and even more dangerous and concerning. You can see we do have many thunderstorms occurring right now. Again, they're long track thunderstorms again, and not tornadoes. Hopefully not. There is a potential though, and that's why there is a moderate issued from the Storm Prediction Center, and that is what I want to talk about next. So I was getting excited about the overperformance of the system in terms of the snowfall because, snow, it can be dangerous, but usually it's more exciting to see a system overperform, at least for me, and see many more inches of snowfall and just how fast it's accumulating. Unfortunately, what that also means is the system is stronger than expected, and we do also have a much stronger risk of thunderstorms than we thought even, 1 or 2 days ago. While obviously there was already quite a bit of alarming things about this. There was a nocturnal threat that There was a slight risk issued already 2 days out. Definitely a high threat, for this time of the year. A moderate was a bit, of a change in terms of rhetoric from the Storm Prediction Center. And notice that we do have a lot of large cities, right? Memphis, Jonesboro, Cape Girardeau, in the large, or sorry, in the most extreme severe weather risk. But even the enhanced, that's a concerningly large area of the country in enhanced, which is still a very high risk of severe weather. And look at this, categorical wise, right? Wind is definitely the most widespread. Hail is also there, but it's not as significant. And tornado is concerningly big, and that's why either is without a doubt the moderate is well warranted. I'm not saying that the Storm Prediction Center didn't do a good job predicting that. These things are extremely dynamic, and you saw that system. I mean, the models didn't predict really any snow for the Twin Cities of any significance up until really 4 days ago, and then now you're seeing up to 16, 17 inches of snow potentially with this banding, and that sounds incredible to say. And that's assuming that the band, for example, doesn't just, that's assuming the band disappears. But if this continues, even at, kind of 1/10 or 1/2 of what it's been doing, and it looks as if this band might be here for a while, then easily double digit amounts widespread for the Twin Cities. And again, you could see that these thunderstorms are rather significant. So if you're living across Missouri, right, Arkansas, by the time I'm uploading this, these storms will be either over you or kind of past you. So if you're watching this and you live anywhere downstream in this area, right, Kentucky, southern Indiana, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama, watch this, and I want to show you this again. So the biggest threat is tornadoes overall for that little quadrant right there. Or I shouldn't say quadrant, that little area. And again, cities are the cities. If you live in any of these cities, I hope you could read them, right? They're pretty small. Pay attention, because this thing is a big deal. And if you live in a yellow, obviously it doesn't seem as significant as compared to the red. The slight risk is still a big risk, even though slight means it's tiny. It's for severe thunderstorms, not for regular thunderstorms. And regular thunderstorms can be very impactful, right? So a moderate, or obviously the high is the top, and they rarely issue that. It's been I think 1 or 2 times this year it's been only issued, and a moderate has been issued obviously a bit more, but it's still one of those things that's rather elusive in a bad way. And again, tornado threat, wind threat, hail threat. You can see all those areas. Kind of choose your location, choose your city, and stay safe, because I'm here. I could tell you that there's a threat coming. It's for this general area, but I won't be doing a live stream. I don't have the equipment or technology for that. So for that, go to the National Weather Service. Do your, they definitely provide the best information for you. You could also check out some other YouTubers that are weather kind of geeks like I am, and they do live streams. Ryan Hall, for example, is very, very good at that. He does a live stream that's usually very, very good. He covers every single tornado warning. He does a brilliant job. So I think that is definitely worthy of checking out. And of course, the National Weather Service should be your number one weather source. But yes, this is going to be a heavy rain threat as well. You could some of these storms are very, very slow moving, and this is plowing towards the north into cities like Peoria, into St. Louis, into Davenport, Madison, Milwaukee, eventually Chicago, and even further into Indianapolis, right, Detroit. And we'll have to wait and see. But again, a pretty eventful, I would say, a night is ahead of us, regardless of whether you live in this very heavy snow belt, in the very severe weather, or in the larger even scope of things. I hope I let you guys know that there are extreme winds for much of these areas. Look, we have wind watches for a good portion of the United States, and these are wind advisories. So very strong winds, obviously. These could blow around and hamper your day quite significantly. And we do also have high wind warnings, which is this darker yellow or darker color right here. And you can see some of these expected wind gusts are terrifying. 67, 70. That is a monster system. Okay, and again, there are some blizzard warnings issued in the backside of this, where the snow has already fallen, where the winds are also high across New Mexico. A lot of wind, guys. So a lot of energy could be created here. Assuming you have a giant solar, or sorry, a windmill, or not a windmill, what are those things called? Whatever, you know what I mean, those little turbines in your backyard. That did not turn out the way I wanted it to. Okie dokie. So, yeah, again, I'm just here looking at my location. Again, you could see strongest winds. You know, the tornado threat is mainly to the south of the Chicago area, but the snowfall totals just took me off guard. I knew that this system would most likely overperform for, say, the Twin Cities just because of the track, but, you know, this banding. Look at that. Do you see that? It did clear up, though. You could see right here. I don't know if you noticed that, but when I initially clicked on this, it was for a brief period, it was stuck on the last image I left it at, which was a lot poorer visibility. You can see the snow has slightly let up. I mean, it's still snowing heavily, but at least it's not accumulating at, you know, like 3 inches an hour, which it occurs for half an hour. That's already, you know, 1.5 inches. And yeah, again, that banding doesn't seem to be, it's stubborn. It's kind of stalling out over those areas, so I do think there will be some double-digit amounts, if not, you know, widespread double-digit amounts. So yeah, we have a long night to go. Again, I'm doing my best, guys, to kind of give you a brief overview. I just love looking, kind of just scrolling through the radar of the system and just watching how it developed. Look at that band of initial rain right there that kind of erupted, and now where it's at. It's producing very heavy snow, the rain across a very broad area, and those storms, of course, very concerning across Missouri and Arkansas, Tennessee, and whatnot. And there are some tornado warnings, I do want to say, across Arkansas. There have been a few, and you can see that there is one headed just south of Jonesboro, just south and west. So if you live in the city, obviously, you know, stay safe. Tornado warning. Let's see which one we can look at. There's quite a bit here. So again, I don't know if this was, you know, spotter or, okay, yeah, so it's radar indicated. So you're not confirmed, but, you know, it's not good to take a risk and pretend that the tornado isn't there. If they tell you there's a tornado coming towards you, even if there isn't one, you know, take cover. You're not, you know, better be safe than sorry. That very wise and applicable saying in this scenario. So notice this one is, again, also radar indicated rotation, but again, the atmosphere is very prone to producing these massive tornadoes. Not massive tornadoes, but numerous and potentially, you know, significant tornadoes. And I do want to re-click on this and go back. Notice there's tornado warnings, but even if you get missed by that tornado, which, you know, that would be very, very good, there's still other threats. In this case, you can see 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail. You know, that won't kill you, but that could definitely damage siding, damage cars. And I'm certain with some of these that there is larger hail, possibly up to golf ball size, because I know that even for my area, way up north in Illinois, that's a potential, yeah, quarter-size hail, you know. That is a lot more widespread, hail damage and, say, tornado damage. It's less extensive for a certain area, but it is extremely impactful. And I do also want to show you guys that we have, again, I mentioned this, we have a giant system moving in onto the West Coast this upcoming weekend, really, again, starting tomorrow. And yes, this thing is nothing like we've seen, I think, in the past, this winter. The most comparable for this northern part of the state was that bomb cyclone, if you recall, in October, but that one did not even produce that much snow because it was still so early on. This one will be a lot more snow, a lot of rain, maybe not as much for cities like San Francisco. If you recall, those areas got up to 5 inches. In this case, you will see significant rain, and potentially over the course of this whole storm. By the way, there's going to be a second one mid of next week. You could receive comparable, you know, similar amounts. So that will definitely be good news for reservoirs and droughts. But again, you know, too much snow, too much rain at once is obviously not a good thing. There's going to be some flooding, mudslides, landslides, you know, damage, whatnot. And you can see some of these predicted amounts for some of these. This is Carson Pass, so I just clicked on a random location. Right, again, starting tomorrow night, a bit of snow. Look, 3 to 7. You think that's significant? Look at that, 12 to 18, 16 to 22, 22 to 28. And that continues into Tuesday. A bit of a let up on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday, Thursday, again, another storm system moving in. Again, up to 10 feet of snow, the National Weather Service is warning for, which is just a ridiculous amount. You can't even picture that, 10 feet at that point. I mean, that's taller than most, you know, I mean, my house is probably not even 10 feet in height, to the gutters, right? So, yeah, a ridiculous storm is on its way, even if once we get past this one. So, yeah, I'm sorry I've been kind of just saying the same things over and over again, but I think that, you know, you're gonna appreciate the fact that I'm going over some of this stuff because, you know, it's it's pretty, there's a lot, and it's overwhelming, and I'm just trying to pick out some of the more parts that are, again, more dangerous and more, I guess, coverable. There's obviously smaller threats, right, like the wind I didn't really go over, but it's definitely still a concern. Again, I want to show you this system right here. Look how long it stays across, especially northern and central California. And the unique thing is, not unique, but the different thing is, look, it affects even southern California with decent amounts of rain, which is good. They need that even more than, say, northern or central. And again, you can see right there, it does move through the mountains, and what it does across the plains is unknown. You can see the one right now shows this system. Earlier, it jumped all around. You can see there's different scenarios, and yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, right after that one moves away, we have yet another system, and we'll have to see what that one does across the plains, and we have yet another one moving in a long range, and potentially another one. So a lot of activity, folks. Definitely no shortage of rain for, I would say, the west, which honestly sounds pretty nice to say, given how dry it's been there. But yeah, and let's take a look at that webcam one more time. Again, that snowfall rate still staying extremely. I mean, you can see the highways are still snow covered. They're not keeping up, which makes sense. All right, guys. I have to end this video. So thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all on the next one, and I will be talking tomorrow just about this upcoming second one and going over the total snowfall from this ridiculous overperformer. All right. Thank you, guys. See ya.